before the internet was prominent. So for me, I had to find every single album I listened to, and I just enjoyed every moment of it. And Yazoo, Document, R. Hooley, and all those record labels just sent me on a journey that I'm still on now, discovering new stuff.
Right, and it works. Carolina Chocolate Drops, we got to mention that. And I remember recently that they were the hot group that everybody was talking about. And, of course, you're the co-founder, and you guys picked up a Grammy-Award along the way, so congratulations.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's one of the things that's been great about the Black Cowboys album is that it was released on Smithsonian Folkways in conjunction with the African American Legacy series they have, which is their partnership with the National Museum of African American History and Culture. The Carolina Chocolate Drops are featured in that museum on the music floor on the 4th floor, so it's kind of a beautiful thing. I also got to be there for the opening ceremonies to play on stage next to Josh White Jr., and it was just a beautiful moment. So it's kind of been a full circle for this project, starting out from Arizona, coming to North Carolina, and now I'm based out of Washington, D.C., working with the Smithsonian.
Oh, cool. Let's pause here. The Blues People Soundbite is coming up next with the voice of the late, great Leadbelly talking about the blues. And we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Billy Boy Arnold. That means I sing nothing but the blues. You're listening to Blues America.
Blues America, taking you down to the crossroads. You ready? You ready? You ready?
Blues America, Blues People, Soundbite.
Well, what I believe myself and what I just mostly, since I've been going around and from a little boy on up to a man, getting old now, and I've been through places and looked into many faces, and I tightened up a many traces. And the blues long years ago, before colored people was free, never was a white man had the blues. In them times, nothing to worry about, but the colored man, at them times, there was hardship, waking, getting up in the morning, 4 days, and then lay down at night, worry about 9, 10 o'clock, feeding horses and milking cows, driving up the sheep and feeding up and calling up the hogs every morning. So when the people in them times, they'd be sad and feeling bad, and they'd sing blues. They didn't know how to sing nothing else, but that old feeling come to them. That's what they call the blues, that old feeling. I don't guess they know what they had to say, but they began to sing. And it's just words they would put together and sing a song, just a feeling. They'd make it up, and they didn't know what it's done itself, hardly, but it's just getting a good feeling to them, see? And that's what the blues come from.
Blues America, like cornbread and chili.
Doggy.
Damn, that's good.
This is Oscar Wilson, Mr. 43rd Street, Chicago, Illinois, and you're listening to Blues America.
Goodbye, my little Donny, my pony won't stand. Old paint, I'm leaving Cheyenne. Goodbye, old paint, I am leaving Cheyenne.
Goodbye, Old Paint in the Music Bed is such a good song. That's by my special guest, Dom Flemons. We just heard the Blues People Soundbite with the voice of the late, great Leadbelly. Dom, you heard the old man talking about the blues, and I love to talk about the blues because while trying to define the music, it's so interesting.
Absolutely.
There's almost no wrong definition, and everybody's interpretation is different. How do you define the blues?
Well, the blues, to me, I've come to define it as sort of a response to a situation that you can't control. And sometimes it's happy and sometimes it's sad, but it's when you are in a certain situation and a certain way of being and your response to that. A lot of times it's spontaneous, sometimes it can be structured, sometimes it's fast, sometimes slow, sometimes hard, sometimes soft sound. But it is the emotional reaction and release for a situation that you are being placed into. Sometimes against your will, but sometimes by choice.
Okay, perfect. The blues has a tradition of covering old standards passed down by generations of players. And, of course, as you are the American Songster, I know you cover many of them. But I think it's really important for each artist, to reinterpret a standard in their own unique way.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I feel like I shake it up a little bit when it comes to when someone hears my arrangements of songs, they're definitely my own. So I follow in that long tradition of reinterpretation, but I also write them as well. And when it comes to blues, I know how to do my stuff on there, but I just have a broad reach. So I love all sorts of traditional music, and that's something that I've always tried to make those connections between those things. Because when I think of like Muddy Waters, for example, being a part of Henry Sims' band, and how Henry Sims is part of the string band tradition, but he's also connected with Charlie Patton, those are the places that I've always been drawn to, or Papa Charlie Jackson being a figure that was an influential jazz player as well as a blues singer. Those are the places I've always been drawn to. So it's these sort of like middle ground where you have multiple genres meeting up, even though the blues is always the prevalent feeling and the prevalent song form that connects them all together.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're out of time. I'm going to end with one last question. Let's talk about this banjo that I'm always seeing in photos with you. It's got to be like the biggest banjo I've ever seen. It's like, I'm calling it the baritone banjo. Is this your primary instrument or your go-to? I mean, I could see how traveling on the road with this would be difficult.
Well, it's an interesting thing. The large banjo, Big Head Joe. That one is. I want that one to be my primary instrument, but unfortunately, that one is kind of cumbersome to take around, just because it's a vintage instrument, but it's a beautiful 18-inch head pot on this 6-string banjo, and it was actually. I can truly replicate the sounds of Papa Charlie with that one. So I'd love that one to be my primary. But for the most part, when I'm showing up to most shows, I have my guitar, I have my 4-string banjo, a set of quills, a harmonica, and the rhythm bones, and those are my primary instruments.
All right, Dom. Well, thanks so much for your time and allowing us to broadcast your story to people listening in their cars and homes. Congratulations on this masterpiece album, and I hope to see you out there on the road.
Excellent. Well, that sounds wonderful. Well, until then, I'll keep on singing the blues, and I'll have a little bit of blues for you when I meet up with you again.
And for the listeners, the Way, Way Back Blues with Josh White is coming up next.
Blues America is endorsed by the Phoenix Blues Society. Learn how to become a member at phoenixblues.org.
I'm John Primer.
And I'm Bob Cortor.
You listen to Blues America.
What we're going to do right here is go back. Way back. Back into time.
It's time to go back, baby. Way, way back. This is the Way, Way Back Blues.
I said, Syracuse, you made a mighty bad break of me. Ah, Syracuse, made a mighty bad break of me. You
robbed me of my youth and health. All you brought for me was bliss. Now, silicosis, you a dirty robber and a thief. Ah, silicosis, dirty robber and a thief. Robbed you of my right to live, and all you brought for me was grief. I was there digging that tunnel for 6 bits a day. I was there digging that tunnel for 6 bits a day. Didn't know I was digging my own grave. Silicosis eat my lungs away. I says, mama, 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 cool my fevered head. I says, mama, mama, come and cool my fevered head. I'm gonna meet my Jesus. God knows I'll soon be dead. 6 bits I got for digging that tunnel hole. 6 bits I got for digging that tunnel hole. Take me away from my baby, it sure done wreck my soul. Now tell all my buddies, tell all my friends you see. Now tell all my buddies, tell all my friends you see. I'm going way up yonder, please don't weep for me.
Well, that's the Way, Way Back Blues with the legendary Josh White, who was also known during the pre-war blues era as Pinewood Tom. Here he is singing Silicosis is Killing Me. There's certainly a lot of silicosis going on today. He was a blues pioneer and could be considered a trailblazer for African Americans in the music business, as he was one of the first to score a million-seller hit. He was the first to perform in a movie, perform at the White House, tour internationally, the first bluesman on a postage stamp. He's often considered one of the first to introduce blues music to large white audiences. He had a prolific recording career that spanned 4 decades, and he was later a well-known activist involved with the civil rights movement. Now, unfortunately, he died in his mid-50s due to heart failure, but his music is required for any serious blues fans. Well, this is Where the Blues Talks, a little program recorded weekly at the Chico Chisholm Memorial Studio in Phoenix. I've been your host, Drew Verbis. I'd like to thank my special guest, the great Dom Flemons. And as always, links to today's special guest is posted at our website, bluesamerica.com. Well, thanks to all the fine community radio stations for supporting the blues. And all of you who are listening, be a patriot and support Blues America. Bye.
We'll travel. More Blues America next week.
Blues America, America.
Promotional consideration for Blues America is provided by the Southwest Musical Arts Foundation, the Phoenix Blues Society, Record High Vinyl, the Rhythm Room Concert Club, Mojo Hand Blues Art Apparel, and the listeners of Public Radio.